There was insomnia. And I can't sleep, and I just flipped on the TV at this late hour.
Now, what bothers me is how come you're untying that? You can't even tie those things.
Well, I don't know. I'll work on it a little bit. I bet you people out there are watching who have insomnia. I'm going to put you to sleep right here with my swinging microphone. Watch the microphone now and look into my eyes.
You're sleepy.
I will put you to sleep with the sports in about 2 minutes. Watch the swinging microphone. That knocked them all out. All right, I'm going to do sports anyway. Somebody out there, maybe in Kelly Field, maybe a taxi driver just got in late. We've had about 20 calls, I hear, from people saying, yes, we are watching, and leave us alone. I don't know what they mean by that. Maybe they're in a coma. You can come out of it now. Come out. It's okay.
As I recall, it was already after midnight when that happened that night. Now on to our other big story of the night, Dan Cook's retirement from television. We could tell you the entire story of Dan Cook and his long career in sports journalism here in San Antonio, but it would take a 6-hour miniseries, and we couldn't run it on a major network. However, we can give you a quick and fairly clean look at the kind of guy who became a South Texas legend. And by the way, he hates that word, legend.
Thanks, Albert. Well, Dan, bringing the Kings.
Yes.
The Spurs are ready for them.
I hope they are. They better be.
They better be, yeah.
Spurs did practice today at Trinity University this morning.
Over the last half-century, Dan Cook has covered virtually every major sporting event, and we mean major. 26 Super Bowls, interviewing sports legends like Babe Ruth, Rocky Marciano, and Joe Louis.
Stand by Dan and Mike Q. Dan.
Dan has spent the last 44 years as an anchor right here on KENS 5, as well as writing columns for the San Antonio Express News. But don't tell Dan he's a legend.
It gets a little embarrassing, I think.
Born in Houston, he quit college to go to work for the Houston Post as a sports writer more than 50 years ago. He later took a job in Beaumont. There he met his wife, Katie.
We met there in about 1951 or 50, long as 1950, she said. She edits everything I write and say, and she's right all the time. I've never.
We went together for 2 years. We got married in 52.
Okay, I knew we got married in 52. Went together for 2 years. I thought it was about a year and a half.
1952 is also when Dan and Katie came to San Antonio for his job as a sports reporter for the Express News. In 1957, KENS TV expanded, and Dan became their first primetime sportscaster, and he still is. And why did he take the job?
I needed a washer, I needed a dryer. We were having babies. I wasn't. Katie was. I had a part in it, though. Anyway, when I found out it's $50 a week, I said, my Lord in heaven, I'll have a yacht in about 5 years if I hold a job that long. But I just wanted the washer and the dryer.
From those early years, making $10 a day, to today making $20, Dan really thinks he's been stealing from the station.
I've been stealing for about 25 years. The first 10 years, they may have stolen a little bit from me. Just the first 10 years. I was happy to get it and happy to let them steal it a little bit. But I wasn't, $10 a day wasn't for just a little gig. It was all right, but now, looking back on it, it wasn't all that all right. There's a big question in the Houston Oilers' plans for Sunday. Running back Earl Campbell may not be...
So what has changed most for Dan in the last 40 years?
I haven't changed anything. I haven't changed my haircut. The only thing I've changed is just I got more wrinkles.
But for Dan, one moment seems to stand out, probably because of the pain involved. It was about 30 years ago when he interviewed the famous wrestler Fritz von Erich. Dan wanted a sensible conversation, but the wrestler was ready for a show.
And I said, okay, we're all set. Fritz, you ready? He said, yeah, I'm ready. Fat butt. I said, oh my gosh, I'm in trouble.
Now, Dan and Fritz were on live TV.
And I said, now, to what do we owe this great fan appeal? We have Fritz von Erich. Fritz, what is it? And he turned to me and he said, the Iron Claw. And he put his hand over my forehead here. No, I'm not going to hurt you. And started squeezing my head. And I mean, it was really bad. I was about to faint back there. So I just reached down and grabbed him down here. under the table. No, he squeezed harder and I squeezed harder. And finally, I was about to black out, and I gave one the hardest squeeze I had left, and he jumped up and left the studio.
Dan is amazed that he's been doing it for so long, and even though things have changed over the years, he wouldn't have changed a thing.
It's still much better living nowadays, the conditions and everything else. I'm not knocking the present, don't misunderstand me. I'm just happy to be in the present. You can take one look at me and see I'm happy to be anywhere.
Yes, it was my way.
And we are more than happy he's been with us for 44 years, and I'm glad to have been working with him for the last 27. The one that had the crease on it, was that you keep that in your wallet or something, that picture there? The
crease?
The one, yeah, the one that had the crease right across when you were about 25.
Well, I've got creases all over.
It was, that wasn't the photo.
No, that
then.
wasn't one of these. Okay.
I think one of the things that most people talk about is when you guys did weather. Now, I have to set up the situation so I'm off the hook. Okay, that night I took Christmas Eve off. My replacement didn't show. Well, we just decided, what the heck, let's put you two guys on the air. Fortunately, you've only done it twice, because I think if you'd done it a third time, I'd be selling apples right about now.
We'd all be.
Let's take a look at it.
It makes no difference. Hey, about 6 or 7 years ago, you and I did the weather together, right?
And
It's like riding a bicycle. Once you've done it one time, you never forget how.
I still have the balance wheels on my bicycle. I don't know about
you. Better get them out, because here's this $42,000 radar
the
machine.
Space Invaders machine.
Yes, but they did not send us a set of instructions on how to use it.
Well, just push a button. You just take...
You think something will come up on the machine?
Yeah, I see something.
Something up? I don't see anything up over there. I'm going to go right over here like Albert would do. And by the way, I see now why he wears his pants low. You have to clip this heavy microphone over here, and your pants kind of fall down. But I'm going to go over here and strap a little weather on you now. Oh, we got the radar right behind me. Let me see what radar we got up.
Okay.
I'll move out of the way.
That looks
Where's
like
that?
Brownsville.
Brownsville. Well, that makes sense to me. Give me the state of Texas, the whole map of state of Texas. Everybody out there wants to know whether it's going to snow or not for Christmas.
Yeah.
All right? I'm going to put it on you the right way. Snow in the Panhandle, 7 to 5. Favored to snow. Even money across the Fort Worth, Dallas plain, whether we'll get snow tonight. Then we move down over here in this other edge over here. 2 to 1 out El Paso. What is it, about 10 to 1, 15 to 1 in Houston? 50 to 1.
Be higher than that.
10 to 1, you think? About 50 to 1?
50 to 1, we're talking easy.
No snow in Houston.
Okay.
All right, 50 to 1 here in San Antonio. All righty, I got one message for you young guys who stay up late at night. Now, it's not going to rain tomorrow. You can take old Dad's word for that right now. No rain in San Antonio tomorrow. Might possibly rain over the weekend. However, when it does rain, keep your little tails out of those drainage ditches. This guy over here is always looking for a news story. The #1 news story in town. We don't want to run a story on you drowning in a drainage ditch. You know, I don't have a swimming pool either, so don't feel sorry for yourself. I don't even have a hot tub. But keep your tails out of the drainage ditches. Want to call for the forecast?
Well, yeah, we got the satellite. That satellite picture. I've always marveled at how Albert handles
There you
these
go.
things.
Look at that satellite.
Back when I was a weatherman, they'd hardly invented weather yet, much less satellite.
Wow. Another time and I would have lost my career. 2 things have changed. Dan wears a tie, and the big box, it's that big now. 55 to 48, fair to partly cloudy tonight, light and variable winds. I have to do a little weather tonight. Let's shake you over, and you can see the satellite imagery. We were in and out of the clouds when Dan goes on permanent vacation.
We will have a little sip of something after the show.
Yes, chocolate milk or
Yeah, a
whatever
little
we
bit of
normally
vintage
do.
Kool-Aid or whatever.
Yeah.
You might ask yourself, you're probably asking yourself a lot of things, but what is Dan going to do once this thing is over? Well, we thought we would ask 2 of his closest friends.
Well, when he first mentioned that he wanted to retire and he was going to retire, I said, well, you ought to think about it real serious-like, because Katie likes to shop. And you're going to be shopping Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with her, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, really, and returning everything the day after. And you're going to spend all your time that. Are you going to like that better?